Garfield the movie is a pretty good film. I was actually surprised to see that this has 5.0 out of 10 on IMDb, and that's across a pretty impressive 93,000 reviews and ratings. Granted, this has been out since 2004, but I always thought that this was one of those films that everybody loved, and I'd be curious to know what people think of it. First of all, if you're a die-hard Garfield fan, because I imagine you have certain expectations, or if you're like me and you've kind of just dipped in and out of Garfield over the years. It's not something that's very nostalgic for me. I've only seen a reasonable handful of Garfield cartoons. So there wasn't anything specific that I was looking for with this film, and I enjoyed it. This is actually the second time I've seen it. The first time was in 2020 when I was on an aeroplane just before the chaos of 2020 happened. And watching it now, 4 years later, probably 4 years and a couple of weeks later, I could remember a decent amount of it, but not all of it. And the story is a nice introduction to Odie because John ends up kind of accidentally getting Odie. Odie is, of course, the dog, and Garfield is not happy about this at all. So Garfield manages to trick Odie to go outside and kicks him out, and Odie runs off. And obviously, John is concerned about this, and Garfield realizes that he needs to try and find Odie and save the day and be a hero, basically. And it's an adventure story of Garfield trying to do just that. And he travels quite a distance. We get a variety of locations. There's always something different to look at. I think it's a very well written, well developed narrative with a really great pacing. It was a little slow to begin with. I'd say the first 15, maybe 20 minutes are quite slow, but the rest of it, which is about another hour or so, the rest of it is really quick and not in a way that feels rushed, but there's always something going on. I found it to be really engaging and really easy to keep focus with. And the character of Garfield is, for me, what I imagine Garfield to be like. But as I said, if you are a die-hard Garfield fan, you've seen all of the cartoons, then you might have different expectations, and I can completely understand that. I'd love to know if that is the case, or if you feel like Garfield is actually what you would expect. Garfield, of course, is a CGI cat, but the rest of the animals, not to ruin it or anything, but he is a CGI cat. The rest of the animals are real. Odie is played by an adorable dog who is called Tyler, and according to IMDb, he also played Ox the dog in Ace Ventura Pet Detective Jr., which I haven't seen, but I might have to check out. And he's gorgeous. He's absolutely beautiful. And we have some cats in this, actual cats, not CGI cats, and they're just so stunning. So if you like animal films, it's definitely worth checking out. But the narrative as well is really well done, really engaging, and we have a great cast of different characters. Of course, the cast itself is brilliant. We've got Jennifer Love Hewitt as Liz and Breckin Meyer as John. Bill Murray voices Garfield, and the voice acting is of course the quality one would expect, and he suits the voice really well. For me, again, it sounds like what Garfield should sound like, but if you feel differently as a diehard Garfield fan, then I do understand that. But I enjoyed it twice. And it's unusual for me to watch a film twice, at least in, quite quick succession. I know it's been 4 years, but still not a tremendous amount of time. But I really enjoyed it. And I was very surprised, as I said, to find out that it's got 5 out of 10, which is not that great. It's not terrible, but anything below 6 out of 10 on IMDb kind of suggests that there's a really good handful of negative reviews. So I'd love to know what people think, but personally, I enjoyed it both times that I watched it. I will be watching the sequel, Tale of Two Kitties, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm keen to see what that one's like, and obviously I am happy to recommend Garfield the movie.